Hi, my name is Gloria Jue-Youn Han. I make pots for good ancestors, and that means that I think about what it means to leave something behind and what it means to make something out of what I've received. I originally connected with Master Clay Jong-hoon Kim and Sylvia's Han-soom Kim, his wife who teaches us carving, because I felt that I wasn't exploring the kinds of ceramics that I wanted to explore when I was at Emily Carr, and I couldn't quite figure out why. It's true that traditionally Korean women did not make, especially 고려전자 or Korea-era celadon ware, but I think it's even more important that I am a woman doing this because traditions would not have survived if not for the collective actions of many women. Traditions survived because many people cared and loved for them, and that's also how I think about craft. And for me, craft is an extreme mode of worship, care, devotion, love, and intimacy. The title of the exhibition is Han-soom, which means one breath or a sigh. It is really describing a sigh of relief or exasperation, usually an exasperation. And I grew up hearing, like, stop doing Han-soom, like it's, like, what are you so exasperated about? And that's a very, like, old-fashioned way of thinking, I think. And at some point I just did it anyway. And I think of how a sigh of exasperation is a release of tension, and the amount of tension that I hold in my body as I try to navigate what it means to be in a diaspora, also what it means to navigate Korean womanhood. But really, I think about the breath in general when I think about the title and my work because of the way that I focus on the breath when I form my pots. When you're making a pot, it's an act of emptying yourself, making your mind very still and calm, and in return you were expanding the space within the pot. And so as you're making, you actually notice your breath starting to cycle and sync with the flow of the wheel, and in that you start to you are cycling your breath through the work, and the work cycles its breath through you. Detail for me is my way of showing care, and I care deeply for my audience. I think about how long I want for my audience to spend with my work, and how I want them to feel like they care about my work and these pots as much as I do. Detail asks my audience to stay for a while. It gives them a lot to look at, and providing that much detail is a way of me reciprocating the amount of care that I would like them to have for my work. Keeping things as complex as they are makes things more resilient to essentialism and Orientalism, and it just keeps it from being made into a easily consumable package. Camellias are a really big flower that grow on these shrubs. They are a flower that are native to that part of the world, to Korea and Japan. When I asked my mom what they mean, or if they have any sort of meaning, she said that they mean I love you forever and for always. And I'm not sure if that's what I would find in an academic paper, but it was really meaningful to me that that's how she interpreted it. The baseboards, in one way, is a way of me honoring the floor. I personally spend a lot of time on the floor, and Koreans traditionally eat on the floor, do a lot of things on the floor. Everything is very low. In addition to that, I was thinking about what it feels like to be on the margins. And while I don't want a future where I'm always on the margins, it was important to me that I find a way to make that area of room beautiful using something that is often ignored or taken for granted. Things like marginalization and other structural forms of oppression that have deeply affected me or feel like they have always been there and they can't be changed or moved. And that's sort of like a baseboard for me because they are in almost every room. They're not really there to be noticed. They're one of the many things in this space you're not necessarily supposed to look at, but you do find ornament on them. The way that I laid out the camellia flowers on the baseboards is in the same format as I would on a pot, where it flips upside down, then right side up, upside down, right side up. The scrolling method or geometry that I use on the baseboards are the same. So I'm still using the skills that I know in traditional Korean ceramics, but applying it to a different meaning. My position in Korean traditional ceramics has felt tenuous for me because I've never felt Korean enough, but now I feel like I have the authority to say that I am part of this larger network, whether or not we're speaking to each other, whether or not we're in direct conversation with each other. And I think because Korean ceramics, especially cellular ceramics, is one that has faced so much colonization and war and theft and appropriation, it's really important that we don't lose that complexity and those many layers. And I think Korean traditional, the survival of Korean traditional ceramics or Korean ceramics as a whole will be due to the many voices